It's a beautiful day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, whether you're at home or you're in diaspora. I am super delighted to welcome you to another explosive and, of course, exciting episode of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, I am Abijo GRA. I am your host on Property Matters. Property Matter is a real estate YouTube talk show where we talked about everything you need to know about the way the Nigerian real estate market works. Over time, we've talked about an exciting episode on Ekpe. We've talked about the typologies of land in Ekpe. Of course, you can, at your leisure time, check some of those playlists. We've also talked about land titles, how you can validate and, of course, confirm if a real estate land title is genuine or fake. We've also talked about different ways on how you can check and, of course, confirm land titles all by yourself. We've talked about the short-let market in Lekki. We've talked about the off-land market, whether in Lekki and other parts of the island. We've talked about everything that will help you not to make a terrible real estate investment. We also went further to talk about how to identify a manipulative real estate agent. We talked about how you can decipher a fraudulent real estate transaction. We even went further to talk about how you can identify a manipulative real estate developer. These are all the topics that we have packaged for you. So at your leisure time, after subscribing, you can check all these our playlists. One thing is also certain, you are going to find value. When I talk about value, I'm talking about immediate value that if you are to get elsewhere, lawyers and, of course, other real estate practitioners in Nigeria will charge you thousands and thousands of naira for it. So you have it at your leisure time. So do well to subscribe, check our playlists at your leisure time, and of course you'll find value. I will be back immediately for after this short amount. Let me just go for a tea break. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the Avocado Luxury Apartments. The luxury apartment comes with a smart finishing, and this makes it one of the best residential apartments in the beautiful city of Abijo GRA. Abijo GRA is just 1 hour drive from the popular Victoria Island. That means it shares close proximity with major infrastructural development, and it is just 60 minutes away from the popular Lekki International Airport. So this is going to be one of the biggest locations here. The apartment comes in 1 bedroom apartment selling for 35 million, 2 bedroom apartment selling for 45 million, and a 3 bedroom apartment selling for 50 million. The beautiful thing is that with an initial deposit and a spread payment of 24 months, you can key in into this lovely apartment. Abijo GRA is one of the most sorted residential apartment because of the closeness to major proximities like the Novera shopping mall, the international airport, the proposed Fort Mainland Bridge, and other wonderful activities. These apartment comes with a C of O. That means that your apartment or your property is safe. For more information about Avocado Luxury Apartment 2.0 for inspection bookings, you can contact the number below the caption of this video. Like I said, it comes with smart finishing, smart doors, smart locks, smart fittings, and it's one of the best apartments here in the beautiful city of Lagos. Abijo GRA precisely. Rental income for 2 bedroom apartment is between 1.8 million to 2 million. That's for 2 bedroom. Then if you're looking at 3 bedroom, you're looking at. All right, I'm super delighted to be here today doing what I love to do best, explaining the way the real estate market works. It's a privilege. I want to say thank you. I don't take this for granted. For some of our Nigerians citizens that are using their data to follow my video and to comment and to like and to share, thank you very much. I appreciate this. This obviously means a lot to us at King's Court Property. And of course, to our subscribers, of course, I know abroad people are using unlimited internet to view. Once again, I want to say thank you, at least for even making out time out of your busy schedule to view. And of course, to them, I want to say a very big thank you to you people. We don't take this for granted. So thank you very much. So today we are going to be talking about something that is grossly ignored by some important real estate practitioners that come to advertise properties to you. And this topical issue has been a great concern, and my intention not to discuss it was based on the fact that I was expecting other real estate practitioners to discuss this, but since they have not, of course, we will also take the bull buy the own, and of course give you all the important information. Before I go further, once again, I want to appeal to you. If you have not subscribed to this channel, you've seen first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Of course, we have over 150 videos discussing different aspects of real estate activities. At least one of the way you can appreciate us, and you, of course, you can show to us that you like what we're doing and you want us to continue giving you guys the best, is to, of course, subscribe. Then after subscribing, if you have real estate needs and investment that you want to do, can also go through us. We'll be so delighted to have you as one of our esteemed clients in real estate. So today I'm going to be talking about land disputes and land grabbing activities in Lagos, Nigeria. So a lot of people have asked questions. A lot of people have, been talking about this. Today's topic, of course, that we don't always give less. We go to the root of every information. We explain the way things are. In fact, we even go as far, as giving statistics and indices on how these things work, so that you'll be well informed, and of course you'll be able to make one of the best real estate decisions. So let's quickly go to land disputes in Lagos, Nigeria. It's going to be a lengthy discussion. I want to appeal to you. Please pardon us. Just watch till the end, and of course you'll find value. Now, when I was talking about some of the things that happens in the real estate market, I went further to explain the way the market works, the gimmicks, and of course some of the manipulative tendencies that are embedded in any form of real estate transaction. And some of the things we've done over time is that we have exposed you guys to the current happenings and how you can, of course, decipher this thing and avoid it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about land disputes. What are land disputes? Now, the very first thing I want to say basically is that when we talk about land disputes, this topic is not just limited to maybe some few real estate companies. Land disputes is a general phenomenon here in Lagos, Nigeria. So it may affect one of the existing and the powerful real estate companies, and of course sometimes it may also affect the upcoming real estate industries that are also active operating within the four shores of Lagos. So land dispute is a general phenomenon, and I'm going to be, of course, there's no way we can talk about land disputes and we don't talk about land grabbing. Of course, it will just be like we're trying to analyze an aspect and of course ignore another important aspect that are always interrelated. So in land disputes, so in discussing this, I'll be giving 3 case studies, 3 life-threatening case studies that I personally witnessed, and I'll be explaining it. Now, a land dispute sometimes can happen between families, members of families who may be at the ancestral relative to the owner of that land. Okay, that's category number 1. A land dispute, category number 2. A land dispute will also happen between a real estate company and some other aggrieved members of the family. In most cases, I've explained that when a land transaction is done, okay, some members of the family may not be pleased with it, so they may want to react, and of course creating a lot of issues concerning their properties. That's category number 2. So I need to categorize this dispute so that you can understand it. And category number 3 is that a land dispute can be between 2 real estate companies fighting over the control of one piece of land. And of course, when I talk about different scenarios of one land being sold to maybe 2 or 3 people, most people usually think that these lands are sold to individuals. No, I've seen instances whereby one land has been sold to 3 different real estate. Some real estate companies will just say, I don't have the strength for this wala. I want to admit my money is gone. Okay, let me just leave it for them. And other real estate companies will say, no, I came here first, I paid this person, I paid this person. So in most cases, it happens between 2 real estate companies over time. So these are the 3 major categories of land disputes that I have witnessed, and of course that may happen. Now I'm also going to talk about the major consequences of these land disputes, what investors stand to lose and what they also stand to gain if these disputes have been able to be settled amicably without resulting to any form of violence. Now, a prolonged land dispute or an unsettled land dispute where a party perceived that due to his own lack of money or his present financial situation, okay, may warrant him or her to lose a property which the person perceived, to be his birthright or ancestral right, or maybe his family and one of the people in the family are trying to write him because he doesn't have money, may also lead to the cases of that aggrieved, member of that family involving who the land grabbers to the situation. Okay, so today's episode is going to be very, 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 very large, and it's going to be very, very insightful. Now, when that aggrieved member of the family now decide to, involve the land grabbers, the situation most times now become more critical, and in most cases extremely difficult to settle amicably, because once the land grabbers are being invited to mediate in this kind of dispute, what happens basically is that a third party is involved. Okay, and when a third party is involved, the process of settlement will become a little much more complicated, to the point that the chances of settling that issues will become extremely difficult. Now, I said I'll be highlighting 3 case studies. Now, there was this dispute that happened many years ago at Lakwe area of Lagos, Ibeju Lekki of Lagos, and some family people have actually, they claimed, okay, to have been, cheated by few rich and powerful people. And what happened basically, these guys have already, bought the property, they've erected. So what they did basically was that some members of the family decided to, involve some land grabbers, which we call the Ajagungbales. Okay, so I'll explain this. These are people that, in most cases, they happen to be a friend of the poor and trying to help the poor not to lose in the inheritance. So what happened basically was that involving those guys, the case and the issues became much more complicated, and the consequence was that the issue now became much worse. And to cut the long story short, the Ajagungbales now later took full custody of the land. They were able, so the people that bought from the family and one of the member of the family that reported the case had to settle the person that brought the notice of the Ajagungbales. And these same people now went to the Ajagungbales in most cases to do what? To rebuy the property. And of course, they are also paying those people so that they can have full custody of the land. Now, in most cases where these guys are always involved, if, let's say for instance, the total size of the land is 5 acres, you don't get to see your 5 acres again, because of course the Ajagungbales will also take some to themselves as what a price for settling the issues amicably. So this is what actually led, to the advent and the activities of land grabbing act in Lagos. So when they talk about land grabbing in Lagos, it's a reality. It happens. Okay, it happens. So we need to know that. So land grabbers don't just encroach on lands. In most cases, the Ajagungbale, of course, they are also called Ajagungbale, is that they are always being invited by some aggrieved members of the family who perceived to be cheated by some few and powerful people in the family. Okay, so these are the cases. So in cases whereby the Ajagungbales or these land grabbers have been involved, the case obviously becomes a little bit complicated, like I said initially, and the owner or the people who bought that property before these guys were involved most times are always in a situation whereby they have to settle and buy that property. It has happened several times. Now, a lot of people ask me, who are these guys? Of course, these guys are very, very connected. They are rich. Okay, so when we say they are not poor, the cars they drive, they are even more richer than people who are who are even doing real estate development, because they are known. So they call them the friend of the masses. Okay, so you can bring them in and they can help you collect your property when you perceive that you have been cheated. Okay, so these are the cases. So that is what led to the case of land grabbing. So we've seen instances whereby, in cases where they have been involved, now I'm going to be explaining some things that made land grabbing activities in Lagos an adventure. I'm going to explain that. So there was a scenario of a man. It's quite unfortunate. Now, this is why I usually tell real estate investors that land dispute is a reality. Land dispute is a phenomenal or an activities that have dominated the real estate scene over the long. In fact, even before many of us started ventured into real estate, it has been a scenario. So when you're buying real estate, I've seen instances whereby a lot of people have been encouraged, to buy land directly from family. I've seen instances like that, and I've seen people who have successfully bought land from families and they were able to build, and there was no problem. But I've seen different instances whereby the reverse has been the case, and the investors, or the people that bought from those people, from the families, ended up losing their hand anymore. There was a case of a man who saw a real estate ad. Of course, there are some people that actually sell what we call second class real estate. Of course, second class market. Like if owner wants to sell 2 plot of land, owner wants to sell 3 plot of land. There are some people that are in that that real estate community where they have the opportunity to buy a land, maybe a land that is selling, that is worth, if that region in that place is worth 30 million, somebody may have issues, okay, and they want to sell, and most people take advantage. But one of the reasons, something happened recently. So there was this man, I believe this man saw a similar ad. Of course, like they always come online to, to advertise. Now, I'm not saying everything that you advertise to you is false, but a lot of people have, permit me to use this word, they have lagging more. That means they have gotten into trouble buying some land without identifying who is the actual owner. When you're buying land, it is very important you identify the original owners of that property. It is very, very important. And this advice goes to for people who don't want to buy directly from real estate companies. Now, in most cases, I usually say that it is very important that you buy from a company. The thing is, when there is issue, you can, cross your leg and sleep. Okay, if you are bought from reliable real estate, I need to make a little much more clarification so that I will not be misquoted. If you are bought, from a reputable real estate company and you later find out that there's an issue on the property, you can sit down, fold your hand, cross your leg, because you know that the real estate company will handle it. Yes, that is a reputable real estate company will handle it. But if you are bought from a family, now this is a very, very sad case. So the man saw the ad, came all the way from UK down to Nigeria, met with the supposedly Olori B of the family, paid something close to almost, I think, 20 million as the first payment, and the guy was able to round up because he had a 3 month payment plan. He rounded off and he was giving documents. Now, I think 2 months after purchase, this man also flew back to Nigeria again to see how he can start work on his project. I think he wanted to do some offline projects. When he got there, a whole lot of family people asked him, "Who are you? We don't know you." And the guy was very surprised that, "What do you mean you don't know me? I've been meeting your Olori." We mentioned this, of course. I haven't mentioned the name of the person. I don't mention people's name online. So we mentioned the name of the person that sold the property, and they said, "Yes, we know this man, but this man did not remit any money collected from you to us. We are not even aware that there was, a real estate or a land transaction between you, because we were never told." The man was shocked. Okay, fine. Where is this man that sold this property? And they told the guy that unfortunately this man is late. So I don't know the document he has given you, but these are our documents. And the man lost over 20 something million because he chose to buy from the wrong person. So if you are buying now, a case like this ordinarily can spark up disputes in that area. So the man was trying to do everything, eventually lost that because the documents that were given to him were fake. And this is one of the disadvantages why I don't always encourage people. Now, when it comes to land disputes, it's a natural phenomenon. And I'm going to be applying 3 major issues, okay, that results to land disputes in Lagos. Number 1, the first issue that results to land disputes in Nigeria is when a party to that property is cheated. It's either the person is not paid or is paid little. Number 1, that can spark land disputes. I'll say it again. When a party or a member or some few members of the families are cheated, they are not being given what they are supposed to, that can spark and start a land dispute. That's number 1. Number 2, land dispute can also start when the agreement is not properly documented with the right legal team. And I will say this. There was a scenario of a property that a real estate company bought. I think they bought it around that time, many years ago in Ibeju Lekki, for 300,000 naira per plot. Several years, I think one of the family member got to know, okay, the number, the amount that the real estate company was now selling to people. And on allocation dates, okay, these aggrieved members of the family, they mobilized on talks. Of course, I think I've shared that scenario. I narrowly escaped being lynched. I saw people harmed with bottles, with sticks. Some were even flinging charm. And to my greatest surprise, I saw gun. The rich people, the rich Omoniles have ammunition. These guys have guns. So when it comes to disputes, it does. In fact, if you have paid a lot of money, when that dispute starts and it results to a violent issues, you can't sort it out. The first thing you may want to do is to run for your life. So when the agreement is not properly documented now, and this is where the service of an experienced legal advisor is being done. In most cases, you want to buy a land from family, and family are saying that they are the one that is a lawyer that will prepare the document. It's wrong. It's wrong. So when they perceive that you bought cheap and you're selling expensive, expect disputes. That's case number 2. Case number 3 that results to land disputes, okay, is when lands are sold to multiple forces, multiple people, multiple parties. Like the case of selling one land to 2 real estate companies, or selling one land to, some of the categories I outlined when I started. That obviously, okay, will lead to land dispute. That's point number what? Point number 3. Point number 4. What may also result to land dispute basically is that when you're buying from family, a person or an investor buys a property and he abandons that property for a very long time. That obviously will spark and start a dispute. You need to understand this. In most cases, you bought a property from Omonile, and God help you, the property ended up to be a successful purchase. Then after buying, first month you did not do anything, second month you did not do anything, third month you will not do anything, to the point that 6 months you didn't visit that land. In most cases, the Omoniles will assume that the person that bought that property is dead. It has happened. These are experiences that we have. See, you cannot compare somebody who is in the field, who doesn't just sell because we are being told to. We go further. There have been instances of where I've had interaction with Omonile. They know me, and we know ourselves. We are friends. We interact. Okay, so in most cases, when after several times you purchase a property, you didn't do anything, they assume you're dead. So in most cases, they will resell. That's point number 4. Point number 5 that causes land dispute is when a member of the family is dissatisfied with the transaction. And this happens, maybe one Olori Ebi collected money. Now, I've seen instances. I've negotiated a lot of land sales from families. And this is what we call loading. There's a lot you guys will learn to do loading. Like one of the Olori Ebi may say, please tell these people that they bought, I'm selling the property to you, 2 million. Let's say they're selling for 2 million. Okay? They will beg the family or the lawyers to write 2 million the receipts. It is me and you that know that we are selling 4 million. Okay? And if that is done, if one of the parties to the property gets to find out that the person, whether it is company or individual, bought the property 4 million, Olori Ebi sold for 2 million, and Olori Ebi did not remit the property or remit the money, the actual money that is being collected from the party, just know that one, even if you have the powers, they will disturb. When cases of being, paying, and one of the parties happens to be greedy and does not remit the total money to them, there will be crisis. And this is situations whereby some of the aggrieved members can now go and invite those land grabbers, and what happened is that those land grabbers take possessions of the land. This, I've seen instances whereby a lot of people will sit down for 3 months, 4 months without having final resolution on that property. So this is how land grabbing activities has become a norm in the Lagos State real estate market. And that's what I'm saying, that if you are buying, you see, when I'm saying buy from a company that has power, they must have power. When we talk about power, power is not physical. Power is who they know, the contact they have, the people they have. If they know some top politicians that can help them mobilize, soldiers or any of those armed forces to see those people offload, that's what I'm saying, buy. You see, if you don't buy from a developer or companies that have the capacity to settle disputes, you will buy properties 2-3 years, you won't be able to step down, do anything on your land. And in most cases, when land grabbers, there are some places that when land grabbers hear that this is the person, they won't, in fact, give them 2 million, they won't go there. So, but in some cases, when a family member invites those people, and these guys, once they take possession of that land, hey, you can spend 3 months and there is no single resolution on that particular crisis. And that is why most times the challenges in which some real estate companies are having basically is that when they have land grabbers on their land, they can't do anything. And in most cases, one of the ways you can settle is you pay the family and you pay the land grabbers. And when they calculate the number of money they've invested on that property, it's always on the loss. And that is why in some cases, there are scenarios of, how do I say this now, delayed allocation. So these are some of the things you need to understand when you are buying land in Lagos. More importantly, you want to buy from family. So these are the land disputes. I've explained the causes. I've explained what could, bring the activities of the land grabbing, which is to take possession. I can also explain. In fact, there are some cases that it has been happening for like 2 years. There's still no resolution to today. So you want to be careful. You want to, do your due diligence for you to know that you're buying from the right source. So there's a lot I want to say, but I cannot finish everything. Perhaps in subsequent episode we'll go further, and I will now explain possible things you are supposed to do if you have found yourself in this kind of situation, or how you can avoid this. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's episode of Property Matters. I hope you found value. I hope you are getting all the right information. To avoid this, you can involve us to help you handle your property purchase. But if you have found yourself in this and you're ready to buy through us, please, I beg you in God's name, don't contact us. So this is where we're going to draw the curtain of, that's obviously on the lighter note. This is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's episode of Property Matters. I hope you found value. Please now subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I'll see you in my next video. Have a nice day. Bye. God bless you.